Hello! For the sixth week of the Criterion Challenge 2025, I watched On the Waterfront. And the prompt was John Turturro's Adventures in Moviegoing, which I love John Turturro. You know, I just like of course Severance season 2 came out this year. I watched Severance season 1 for the first time with my girlfriend. I mean, I saw it all those years back, but I showed it to her. This is the first time she saw it, and again, she's one of those people that are like, the whole tweet was like, I'm so frustrated at the people who just watched Severance season 1 and didn't have to wait 3 years, and it's like, yeah, me too, agreed. And so yeah, with that, John Turturro is in Severance. John Turturro is my favorite character in Severance. Actually, I love the how his character was written, his arc. I love John Turturro's performance. That voice he does is beautiful, and I've always just been a fan of John Turturro. Last year I watched Do the Right Thing for the first time. He was great in that. He was great in the Batman and all the Coen Brothers movies. He's really one of the most underrated actors. He's one of those actors that like when you uh think about him, you're like, obviously he's one of the best, but like he never is brought up on his own. You know. It's always like, oh yeah, I forgot about John Turturro. You're right, he's one of the greatest actors ever lived. But like, if someone asks you what the greatest actor working right now, John Turturro would not be on the list, which he should be. And so yeah, here in the Criterion Collection, um, John Turturro's Adventures in Moviegoing. It's a curated list. There's a lot of this in the Criterion Challenge. And the Adventures in Moviegoing is just when the Criterion invites a famous person or a person of renown within the film industry, and he just curates uh, a number of movies. And so yeah, and usually it's built around their life. Here in John Turturro, it's built around its marked selection of films that have marked his life, including those built around commanding physical performances from favorite actors. So yeah, uh, again, he's an actor, so this follows that it's a very acting heavy list, and that's a good segue into the movie itself, On the Waterfront, where its main legacy and I think its biggest advantage is the main performance by Marlon Brando. It like I haven't seen this era of Marlon Brando. I've obviously have seen uh The Godfather and his later work, which I do find really amazing. And he's always been like in the especially with The Godfather. I think he of course I knew Marlon Brando was like the sex symbol, this bad boy, and so like knowing Don Vito Corleone, of course, it feels like he morphed into that role, and so this is my first Marlon Brando role that is the bad boy sex symbol image that he was in the 50s, and I was struck just his performance in On the Waterfront. I was struck by how modern it feels in that this like Leonardo DiCaprio, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg, Tom Cruise, all those people owe their ass to this performance. Like this is a very them performance. This is the stereotypical leading man performance. It's a leading man performance, but it's a leading man performance that like can act. It's not just some stupid blockbuster. It's a blockbuster. It's a leading man role with substance. That's what this is, and I think this is just a perfect encapsulation of what that means in Hollywood. What it means to be a leading man in Hollywood, where you have the ability and the talent to actually act. So there's that. But yeah, it's a beautiful performance. That famous monologue is pretty heartbreaking, and it just he carries himself with a bravado that's just undeniable. It's undeniable magnetism. It is a star at his uh, prime, and so yeah, Marlon Brando is really great with this movie. And but I do have to admit, uh, part of I gave this a lower. It's the lowest score I gave actually. It's the one I like the least so far in the Criterion Challenge because in my opinion, this is just Marlon Brando's performance, and that's it. Marlon Brando and Lee J. Cobb. Actually, I like Lee J. Cobb's performance as well. I loved him in 12 Angry Men, which is one of my favorite movies, and yeah. But Marlon Brando again, like his performance has a reputation, and I think it lived up to it. But besides that, I think it's a pretty straightforward movie that has grit. You know, it's a working class movie. I really like uh, the story. I really like again that working class scene. But again, I struggle to really remember anything of note besides the wonderful performances and I guess I mean, I don't really have anything to say about that. Anything I say more is gonna just divulge into me talking about Marlon Brando's performance again, and it's been 70 years since that performance. There has been 70 years of talking about this performance, and so yeah, what more can I say? You know, it's a pretty okay, solid drama, nothing special, but with anchored and just really buoyed up by just some really great performances, especially that leading one by Marlon Brando. So check it out on the Waterfront.